What's going on, YouTube? Point Pleasant here, and today, as you can tell by the title, we're probably going to be talking about the Spyderco Smok. And I just want to go ahead and up front say that I particularly like this knife. It's one of those subjective knives that I don't think everybody is going to connect with, but if you like it, it's going to be one of those things that, I don't know, man, you just get it. You just get it. It feels good to you. I've heard other people that like it, other people that don't, and it is kind of a polarizing knife. But let's do some quick size comparisons for it. If you line it up on these dots, you can see it's just shy of 8 inches there, and the cutting edge is just shy of 3 inches. So you got about maybe a 1/4 inch shy of 3 inches. We'll do some size comparisons. You got your minimum and maximum griptilians there. It's not, so, you know, your maximum griptilian is a big old beefy brick right here, so it's not quite that, much thinner in the profile, just much more refined, kind of classy like, you know, but doesn't really carry like either of these knives, just somewhere in between them. You got your, maybe a little closer, you got your Osborne, which is similar in length, but you get a lot more cutting edge with the Osborne, given that the Osborne has a much different blade shape and design. And maybe got something like your bug out right there, everybody can see. And then something maybe a little more comparable is the Sage. And I say that they're a little more comparable because both of these knives came out of the Taiwanese factory. They're both Spydercos, and they have very similar design features, although they are, you know, got roughly the same cutting edge on that Sage as you do on the Smok, but the Sage is a much smaller knife, and ergonomically, it's hard to argue that the Sage isn't better. But they are different knives for different types of people. So let's talk about Smok. You get an S30V blade. See that right there, printed. Yeah, nice laser engraved spider there. I think that comes for free, but you get it. Like I said, this is out of the Taiwanese factory, and you can see that printed on the blade right there. You got these carbon fiber scales, or carbon fiber-esque scales. I'm not actually sure if they're real, but they sure do look it and feel nice. Whether they're real or not, they feel pretty nice. It is a liner lock knife, which I guess you could say is a pretty strong, durable lock, but it is button activated. And so you can see that inside there, when you push a button, it opens the lock up for you. And I prefer that. Keeps your finger out of the way of the blade, and it's much more left-handed friendly. As you might be able to tell, I'm left-handed, so I like button locks. And this was my introduction to button locks. It was the first one I ever bought, and I gotta say it's a good one. Pretty happy to own it. This is one of those knives that, like, when I'm leaving the house and I'm kind of dressed up, I'll stick this one in my pocket. It makes me feel a little bit more gentlemanly, a little classier. Something about that shiny pocket clip and the carbon fiber, and just the overall fit and finish of this knife is really nice. So makes me feel a little bit fancy, I guess. Something fancy about it. I don't know. Anyway, it comes with a pretty thick sheep's foot blade, and then when you're looking at the back side of it, it just reminds you of a Tonto. I mean, it just looks Tonto. But you get this really nice sheep's foot blade, and it is wicked sharp. Out of the box, I don't know of any company, specifically this Taiwanese factory, I don't know of any company that's sending sharper knives out of the box than Spyderco. I haven't found any anyway. But that is beautiful sharp. Yeah. You got your flipper tab integrated kind of into the body of the knife. And the only thing I really wish that they would have done about this is maybe put some jimping on the top there. Because if you're not really dedicated to opening this knife, if you're just kind of half flicking at it, you will slip off of there. It's just smooth metal and rounded, and it doesn't have any grip to it. But, you know, if you put some force into it, just like anything else. Now, there's a detent inside of this knife that you can remove, and I've seen plenty of people talk about this, but you can remove a little detent ball that rides against the blade, and that would increase the smoothness of the knife. I haven't bothered to do that because I just found it, I don't know, something about the rigidity of the knife kind of makes it feel different. It gives it some kind of an extra feel and quality to me. And it still works smooth. I mean, you can tell I'm opening it and closing it with ease. But you could, if you wanted to, open this knife up, pull out that detemp ball and spring, and it would decrease the resistance on the blade, making this a much smoother knife to open and close. And I don't find it necessary, but I think if you wanted to do that, it's pretty easy to do. This knife is pretty easy to take apart. You got 2 screws in the body there, and your pivot screw. And of course, your 3 pocket screws. That's about it, though. Spider hole, you can use that to open, close, thumb. It all works. You can open this knife any which way you want to, close it any which way you want to, as long as you use the button. That's about it, y'all. If you like this video, tell me. And if you got any questions about this particular knife, just let me know in the comments and I'll be sure to answer them for you. Appreciate y'all watching. Have a good one.